I hate to kind of just completely flip this script, but there's some stuff we really need to talk about right now. So, what on stream, for those of you that were with us, I think it was actually the when we were finishing up the original Mafia playthrough on stream, I was talking about how there's certain agendas that are kind of being forced upon certain companies right now in the games industry, and there's a there's a lot of controversy being stirred up between what Black Myth Wukong. That game is breaking all types of records right now. It just released what August 20th, so like 3 days ago. It's sitting at overwhelmingly positive with 300,000 votes on Steam right now.
Cool. So yeah, I've been following this a little bit. I mean, I've not played um, Black Myth Wukong. However, it seems like, well, like Roger said, the game has exploded. The figures are incredible. Everybody wants to play it, and there's a reason for that, I think, because it's made right. So I'll just give you a little bit of background, but it's made sort of, well, it's made from a Chinese company. I'm just going to get my research correct. So yeah, it's made by. Let's have a look. Remind me, Rob, what was it? Who was it that made these
Game
guys?
Science.
Yeah, so Game Science. These guys developing this a gaming studio from China, and to sort of cut a long story short, these guys were like, "We're making this game how we want it. There's going to be no, let's say, uh, Western influence, right? There's going
Right.
to be no like the DEI side of it is going to be, we're doing what we want basically. There's going to be no message, the message, right? There's going to
Right.
be no politics in there. It's just going to be a game that they want to create and they want to do. And if anyone, has a problem with it, they can go F themselves, right? So a lot of gamers like that stuff, and it's clear from the figures and the concurrent player base. It's been actually loved. Everyone's playing it at the minute because of these. Well, the game itself is supposed to be very solid. I have not played it yet. I've only seen
Neither have
reviews,
I.
I'm going from that. But it seems like it's overwhelmingly positive with the fan base, right? Now, the controversy with this is there's another game that came out around about the same time, and that is called Dustborn, right? To cut a long story short, this game has majorly flopped, right? Dustborn is like a sort of, how can I describe it? It's DEI heavy.
I'm showing the
It's
thumbnail right now, like
yeah,
the main thumbnail. You guys could probably gather a few things just off of these.
yeah. So it's DEI heavy. It's got a lot of message. It's supposed to be made for this mythical modern audience, right? I'm gonna
Right.
be like, yeah, this is like it's controversial, but I don't care. It's like it's made for this modern audience that doesn't seem to exist. And the reason I say that is because the game itself has majorly flopped. I think it's got like 83 concurrent players. Now, the controversy, like I said, these games came out around the same time, and it caused a bit of, to and fro on Twitter. It seems like, one side, let's just call it the left and the right for argument's sake, right? So the left or more progressive people have been pushing this game. IGN gave this game, Dustborn, a 7 out of 10, right? So, yeah, of course they did. And it's got 89 concurrent players right now. It is majorly flopped. No one's playing it. It looks absolute, messaging, politics, activist driven garbage, right? And the figures speak for themselves.
Yeah.
Whereas you've got on the flip side, you've got this. Let's just call it the right side in terms of the right side of gaming, where people have went, nah, we're not interested in that. That looks absolute rubbish. We're not interested in this sort of being sort of pushed and preached to by these DEI companies, and went, we're buying Black Myth Wukong, which, as you can see, has a massive audience. It's completely floored it in financially, and everybody's loving it. Now, Raw, I don't know. I mean, the story tells itself, right? What's your opinion on that? There's the left and the right that are arguing amongst themselves, and
I
the
mean,
the figures themselves tell the story.
yeah,
I mean, what's your take?
100%. Like the
What's your take?
numbers. Sorry, the the little bit of latency between us, my bad. But yeah,
Yeah,
100%. The numbers do not lie. Like these games, you guys can see on screen right now. They released the exact same day, August 20th, 2024. August 20th, 2024. Wukong is sitting at overwhelmingly positive with over 300,000 reviews, and then you have 60 reviews on Dustborn, like completely targeting two different audiences. But the thing like we were going into on stream again, like and like Blue was just covering, they keep pushing
Narratives.
certain narratives. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Pushing certain narratives on the games industry and like forcing their way into certain things. And every single time it ends up being a flop. And it's like all these predominantly Western companies just keep buying into it and pushing this same what was the word you
Agenda.
used? The
It's
same,
like, it's
yeah.
agenda or narrative. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying not to say certain words, but
Yeah.
yeah, pushing certain narratives, pushing certain agendas, and the game that came out and just went back to what we knew as gaming, like being
Yeah.
a little bit older gamers, like we're not in the newer generation with all the woke crazy nonsense is going on right now.
I mean, like we touched on it already, Ross. Sorry to butt in, but it's like when we were buying games, like we didn't really. If the character was, I don't know, it didn't matter what character, what race the character was. It could have
At
been
all.
anything, right? We didn't
Anything.
care. We didn't care. We bought the game solely for the purpose of it being a good game. We didn't look into the
Exactly.
political side. We didn't look into the political side. We didn't look into who was pushing it, who was developing it. As long as it was a good game, we would buy it, right? I'm pretty sure
Exactly.
I'm talking for you as well, Rob. We'd buy the game. I would be hyped looking at the instruction manual or looking at it on the way home, from buying it at Electronics Boutique or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And we would be hyped to play the game. I would play the game. If the game was good, great. We would be straight onto our friends or whatever and saying, "This is amazing. The story is great. The characters are great, or whatever. You need to play this game." Whereas now, like Ross correctly said, it seems like well, it doesn't seem like it. It's pretty obvious that people have that gaming companies have certain agendas and narratives that they want to drive to this modern audience that seem well from the figures that don't lie doesn't exist. There's a small majority of people that want to play these games, minority should I say, that want these games, but nobody else wants them. And I think the figures from Dustborn and Black Myth Wukong says it all, tells its own story, and I think a lot of gaming devs need to wake up a little bit and see that, we, see what gamers actually want, and they will start making profit again, as opposed to, I mean, that Dustborn, I mean, they that's a complete disaster for a development company, isn't it? How much money are they going to
Yeah.
make from that? Do you know what I mean? It's like that is
Yo.
I've never seen a game flop so much in my life.
Like Void just said in chat, an utter waste of time and artistic talent. Like I was look at the number again, the numbers don't lie. Black Myth Wukong hits 2.2 million concurrent players on launch day. What what compare that to what I don't even remember
Dustborn.
the Dustborn. Compare that to that and then that's just sad.
But it's clear as day what's going on. Do you know what I mean? It's they take us. They think we're stupid. Do you know what I mean? They think that, oh yeah, we'll buy into this, or I mean, I don't get their target. Well, I do get their target audience, but the target audience is, I'm talking Dustborn here, is like a small minority of people.
And in the
That
gaming community specifically, that is such a small minority because you're already taking a segmented minority and you're segmenting them further. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, and
yeah,
you,
absolutely.
I understand that you want to cater to all audiences, but like we were talking about, you can be all inclusive. But when that is the entire narrative behind a game and that's all that's being pushed, no one cares. We
I'm
literally
gonna
just talked about this a few days ago. Like, it's
yeah.
crazy.
There's a scene, right, that I've not played, right. Again, I've not played Dustborn and I've not played um Black Myth Wukong. However, there was one scene that, and I thought it was fake. I thought it was AI because I burst out laughing when I seen it. This is Dustborn I'm talking about. So there was a scene in a bar where there's two police officers sat there, and your character, who is of color, right, and it's like it's like a I would say, like, like the Fallout dialogue system. Rob, back me up here if I'm talking nonsense, but it's like the sort of dialogue system where you pick to say what you want, and obviously what you say has an impact and has repercussions, all that sort of thing.
A
So yeah, there's
role-playing
these,
game.
yeah, basically, yeah, in a nutshell, yeah. But there's this part, right, and I've only seen the clip where the female protagonist is talking to the two police officers, and the police officers say something, right? And it gives you an option, and one of the options, I'm not lying, right? This is in the game, right? It comes up with a selection, and it's got triggered as the selection, triggered, right? And
Right.
the button selected, triggered, and she screams at these two police officers, "You're a racist!" It's like,
Oh
no,
my
this isn't.
god.
I was like, no, this isn't real.
Oh
No, I was
my
like,
god.
I did a like a double, triple check to see if this was AI, if this was like, somebody had made this and like, it was some sort of parody, but it wasn't. It was actually in the game. Like, and I just like my mind was blown. I was like, are
It's
you serious?
ridiculous.
Are you serious? The trigger option, the trigger option. What is that? That is that, and that. There you go. I mean, that sums that game up. Do you
Hey,
know?
it's still doing better than Fallout 4's dialogue.
I
It would have been two yeses, a trigger, and a no.
yeah, but honestly, I mean,
Jesus.
that's I think what we've just talked about there is enough to like it's covered it, right? It's like,
Yeah, yeah, that one
you know,
scene is all you need to know about the game, pretty much. The numbers and knowing that little bit of info, like, you can kind of piece together what is going on in this game, what's going on behind the scenes with this game.
yeah. And can I just say as well, right? Even though I'm bashing this game, right? These developers have got the right to create their own games, right? They if they want to make this game, then fine, absolutely. If they want to use their creative passion to create this game, absolutely great. However, right, what's going to happen, right? When we talk about the modern audiences, is that no one's going to play this game. No one wants
Yeah.
to play this sort of game. So, I mean, respect. I'll always give respect to talented devs, gaming companies that want to try a new angle and stuff like that. However, read the room. Come on, that's the thing, right? Read the room. That's the last thing I'll say about that. But I think it's pretty self-explanatory what has gone on there. Like you said, Rob.